You have a lot of
Yeah.
retired military,
Oh, we love our military.
families.
Yeah, yeah. My two youngest sisters were born in Japan. Actually, they had dual citizenship for a long time. But we've all been a military family. We've all went into the service, myself included. Um, as we grew up. So yeah, so I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. Essentially, my primary time here, and I've been here now almost 30 years. This second time around.
Yeah. Okay. So that means that you had some really interesting education experiences with the bouncing around. Is there a school that really stood out to you?
Yes, actually, Blair Elementary. That's here on Fairchild.
Yeah.
That was my really most vivid memory of schooling. I really enjoyed it. We were here the longest of our tenures as a military dependent, so I had great memories of those days, having war battles, throwing what we call dirt clods back in the day,
Yeah.
playing Army or military with my friends. Yeah, that was a great school. But being school overseas too was a good thing because it helped to increase my worldview. You often think that your space is limited to where you are presently, but being overseas helped me to adapt to different cultures, respect different cultures, respect different individuals. So I love those experiences as well.
On base or off base schools?
On base, yeah, on base schools.
Yeah. Well, sometimes there's an option, but
Sure,
not always.
sure. Yeah. No, my father was a true military man. He wouldn't have his children go anywhere but a military sponsored school.
Yeah, my granddaughter have done that as well, and so
Yes, ma'am.
they're doing well.
Yeah.
So other non-school informal activities besides besides dirt clod wars that made an impression on you and your worldview.
Oh boy, as a youth or
As a youth.
Man, I would say Great Falls, Montana. And I say that because it was the first time I was subjected to discrimination or prejudice. I was a young man, and my mother and I were walking down the street hand in hand, and we were passing by another couple, a woman and her young daughter, and I said hello, and I reached out to shake her hand or pat her on the shoulder. I was young. I don't know what my actions were going to be. It wasn't going to be a high five or something, but her mother pulled her away and said, don't touch that dirty N-word. And I didn't really understand it at the time. I'd been taught that by my family, obviously, but it's the first time I had experienced that. And my mother, bless her heart, back in those days, she was kind of vocal, and said some words to the lady, and went home and told my father. And my father was really a calm, focused gentleman. He said to my mother, he said, "Calm down. Don't let others dictate the way you behave in life. There's always going to be those that are against you."
Yeah.
And I remember that as a young child, thinking that,
all you really control is your own reactions. You
Absolutely.
can't control others'
Absolutely.
actions.
Yeah.
Yeah, my reaction to stories like that is always, that's just dumb. It's just,
Well, I would agree, but it surely made an impact.
yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. Yeah, the first time you've run into something like that. While you were moving around, did you have an opportunity to get a job as a youth? Or?
I did. My first job were two dual jobs. I was working at McDonald's here in Spokane.
Oh,
Yeah, and then working for the military recruiters here in Spokane simultaneously. My job at McDonald's didn't last that long because then, believe it or not, I had an afro. And we had this hat we were supposed to wear, and it had to be centered on your head. And I was thinking I was the cool young man. I would always cock it off to the side, and my manager would call me out, and he'd say, "Phil, you can't wear your hat that way. It's against the policy." I said, "Oh, yes, sir." And I'd put it back straight, and he'd leave, and I'd put it again sideways. And any case,
gee, that sounds like a teenager.
I thought my hair, yeah, it was. I thought my hair was my sense of power, Samson, if you will. And so it didn't last. I said, well, this is not going to work out for me. And I left and then worked full time for the recruiter's office before I went into the service, and I was 17 at the time. And that was a really good job. I got to see young men and women coming in, and the recruiters selling the organization, the Air Force in my case, to these young men and women. So it's wonderful. It helped really to shape my belief in going into the service, although I already had that based on my father and so did my sisters. But it was a really good experience, seeing young men and women coming in, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, for lack of a better term, and focusing their attention on serving our country. So.
And you mentioned your own military service.
Correct.
Which was, well, tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I graduated high school here from Ferris at 17, and I went into the Air Force at 17. I had to have my mother sign me in because I wasn't old enough on my own. And I was a law enforcement specialist for 8 years, which means a military police officer. And that was wonderful. I got to meet multiple presidents. I worked on a SWAT team. We called it the Emergency Services Team in the military. I was trained in accident investigation, interview interrogation, crime prevention through environmental design, which I'm certified now currently. But this was back when it was really a novelty at the University of Louisville. And it was a great experience, I guarded the space shuttle.
Wow.
Yeah, that was up close and personal. So that was a wonderful experience in the military as well. And I was overseas in Korea, South Korea. Visited the demilitarized zone, Panmunjom Village, and really those were really great experiences there toward the Olympic Village, based on an award I won overseas. But all of those things really help really again to shape your worldview and realize that even when we think we have it bad here in the United States, there's always someone that's struggling more than we are. So to keep the world in perspective, that's what it's really done for me.
Well, that's a good place to segue to that last question, which is to give you the floor to describe what are the duties of Spokane City Council President, the office that you're running for, and why should people vote for Phillip Tyler for Council President?
Yeah, thank you. So the Council President presides over council meetings and those deliberations, and the Council President would also be the parliamentarian, if you will, for the council and council meetings, and I'll go back to that, why I'm running. The council president would also be the primary signator on those issues of budgetary responsibility with the council, but more importantly, I think the council president serves as a liaison to the executive office and develops a relationship that should be collegial, not what we've seen recently, more of a conflict in those things, and that's with the body itself and with the mayor, whomever that may be coming up for us in this new election. So those are some of the duties, and the reason why I'm running, Sue Lani, is because over the last few years, myself and others have seen a council that is not as collegial and collaborative as we, the citizens, expect it to be, both internally with city employees and surely with our mayor, our present mayor. And I don't think that is really good governance for our people. Council meetings are disruptive. They create a chilling effect for citizens who want to come there and seek redress from our electeds and or just speak on opinions that they may have. We've seen citizens be dressed down from the dais, and I don't think that sends a message of good governance. And the battles that we have seen recently have tended to dissuade citizens from being really actively involved in city government, which I really think they should be. So the political oscillation that we've seen on the council really seems to be agenda-driven versus creating a city of true governance for all. And I think what the city is looking for, and given our record number of first-time candidates applying this year,
yes,
they're looking for some productive equilibrium. And I think that is what I'm looking for to really bring Positively Spokane back to the city council. And what I mean by that, Sue Lani, is I don't believe this race, and this is why I've got in, should be about who's more conservative or who's more liberal. It shouldn't be about who is more red or blue, because our city is both. And so what I say Positively Spokane is about is a combination of red and blue, purple, or in our city's case, lilac. And I'm running to bring the lilac city back to the city council, representing all of those, bringing the skill sets and true representation on the city council that we haven't seen in almost 2 decades. And I think bringing those diverse ideas, thoughts, lived experiences, a true ability to build bridges, collaboration, is what is lacking presently in our current environment. And so that's why I'm running. And I think I want to bring that positivity back to our Spokane City Council.
Okay. Well, thank you, Phillip. It was
a
pleasure
taking the
chatting with you
time
this morning.
Yes, good seeing you as always.
Good luck.
Thank you.